It has been a very competitive series so far between the two AL West California rivals. Opening night, Chris Davis flexed his muscles as he's launched two big flies in front of the wild sellout crowd as the A's took game one. Last night, the Halos rallied in the ninth as Danny Espinosa crushed the hearts of the East Bay faithful with a go-ahead three-run homer, and the Angels evened this series. Tonight, rookie Jerrell Cotton makes his 2017 debut and looks to shut down the big bats of the Los Angeles Angels. A's, Angels, next. Wednesday night baseball from the Coliseum. It's game 3 of this 4-game series. AL West rivals indeed. It's the Oakland A's versus the Los Angeles Angels, and you'll see it on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. You saw Jerrell Cotton. He's going to get the baseball tonight. Last year came up, made 5 starts. Ray, very impressive. And the thing with Cotton is he's kind of fun to watch. There's a little moxie. He's not a big guy, but he has the ability to be a big-time pitcher in this league. A
great changeup, a great curveball. And I think probably the biggest thing for him as we look at his season. But last year with the Dodgers, he said he put too much pressure on himself in spring training. But he came up last year, did a great job. You see the changeup. When you fool a hitter getting out in front, that is a special changeup at Major League Baseball, because he can get by with a changeup and a good sneaky fastball. He's got a great curveball on top of it. But I think what he learned from last year, being traded to the Athletics and now being a part of this rotation, he feels like he is part of something special.
Now, the Angels made some really kind of under-the-radar moves in the offseason to strengthen their lineup, lengthen their lineup a little bit, Ray, and they really did that. They added 3 regulars in there, Espinosa, Maben, Maldonado, and last night they were tough on the A's.
Well, very tough, and of course Espinosa, the big home run last night without the beard too, and that made him special. But I think for the Angels, trying to get a left fielder, Maben, they hope is going to be the guy that they've tried to do for the last 10 years. And of course Maldonado doing a great job behind the plate, what he did and what he's done so far in this young series, blocking balls in the dirt, really helping his pitcher. He did it with the last goal in the opener, but he can do that. And these 3, like you said, under the radar, but pretty good players.
Jerrell Cotton will pitch for the Athletics. Garrett Richard will pitch for the Angels. It is game 3 of this 4-game series. We are indeed looking forward to it. We'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back. It's the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Angels, led by that man Mike Trout, Stephen Vogt, Albert Pujols. They're all here. They're ready to go, so are we. See you in a bit.
NBC Sports California is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box, introducing the new Brunch Fest menu. It's brunch time, anytime at Jack in the Box.
Jerrell Cotton and the Athletics take the field, all white uniforms tonight. And it is game 3 of the 4-game series. Game time weather for tonight is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open for spring break. 64 degrees. No rain. But it sounds like rain may be coming this weekend.
Yep.
So the A's may be getting out of town just at the right time as they will leave after the day game tomorrow. Starting lineup for the Angels is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout at the top. Then Pujols, Cron, Maben. And at the bottom, 7, 8, 9, it's Simmons, Espinoza, and Maldonado.
Another major league debut for Jerrell Cotton was against these Angels, and that was on September the 7th. Did a great job picking up the win, a 4-1 victory. Tied the first 9 batters that he faced. And as we talked about in our open, how he said that spring training last year with the Dodgers tried too hard. This spring was different. He's in the rotation. Tonight his first start. Let's hope he does well.
Defensively for the A's, Chris Davis in left, Rajay Davis in center, Matt Joyce in right. Ryan Healy is at third base tonight. Marcus Semien at short, Jed Lowry at second, and Yonder Alonso at first. And Stephen Vogt again doing the catching. So we are set for baseball from the Coliseum. As Yunel Escobar steps in, A's won on Monday night. The Angels in dramatic fashion won last night. So each team with a win in this series. Another game tomorrow afternoon, and the first pitch of the game is lined to Alonso. That is out number 1.
707.
So Escobar does not mess around. He's been known to be aggressive.
And I think we saw again some of the highlights of Jerrell Cotton, the outstanding changeup, and it's like a hitter at times does not want to get to 2 strikes and maybe get a split finger fastball. Raleigh is not available tonight, probably in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't tweet that fast anyway. I don't think he could type that fast and do a text or tweet or something.
He signs those autographs in spring training, though.
He's very pristine. I mean, he does a good job with that.
First pitch to Calhoun, up and away. Cole Calhoun, 2 for 6 in this series with a couple of runs scored. The numbers from last year: 18 homers, 75 RBIs. Also had 35 doubles last year. Close pitch, called the ball. Lance Barksdale calling balls and strikes. John Tumpane at first, Ted Barrett at second. Angel Hernandez down at third. Ted Barrett is the crew chief. He looks like a crew chief.
A big, bad, mean crew chief, but he is that. I think what you always have to look at for an umpire, does he call strikes east and west, side to side, or up and down, north and south? And some umpires are different in the way they look at the corners versus the up and down. Of course, they're trying to make the change at the knees, etc. But
you know what? None of it matters anymore, Ray. You know why? Because we got pitch tracks.
Well, that's true.
So you and I really have the final say.
But they don't.
For our fans, you and I have the final say on whether it's a ball or a strike thanks to pitch tracks.
Well, let's hope it does not come down to strikes being called by a computer.
Joyce back and over, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Pitch tracks, one of the new toys that we have this year, and there it is.
And
see the strike zone?
And that's strictly an upper body swing by Cole Calhoun because he was fooled on the breaking ball. Hit the ball well, but Jerrell Cotton is very adept at using the off-speed pitch at the right time. Stephen Vogt caught him last year. Actually, 3 of his 5 starts, his debut, and Stephen was raving about his changeup and being able to go between the fastball and the changeup.
First pitch to Trout, just a touch low. 29% changeups for Jerrell Cotton. It's a terrific pitch.
75% between the 2 pitches, fastball and changeup. I think that says a lot about what he is capable of doing with those 2 pitches. He's fortunate to catch a pitcher by the name of Kenny Holtzman, left-hander. he could use 2 pitches, fastball, take a little bit off the fastball, and fool a lot of hitters. And that's for young pitchers before you even try to develop a good curveball. Fastball changeup, you can get a lot of outs.
In there for a strike. So Trout behind in the count 1-2.
Off-speed pitch, fooling Trout, a little bit of a wrinkle. Oh, that shows it right there, the yellow line for the strike. Yeah, change it.
Stayed with it. So good first inning for Jerrell Cotton as he strikes out Mike Trout to end it. Bottom of the first coming up. We'll show you the A's lineup when we come back. The Athletics is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Matt Joyce gets the start in the leadoff spot, and we'll see that occasionally this year. Lowry second, Healy third, Davis fourth, Stephen Vogt 8 career home runs against the Angels. And Plouffe, Alonso, Simeon, Davis. You see Ryan Healy playing third base tonight.
And for Garrett Richards, he is trying to make a remarkable comeback without having surgery. And that says a lot when you miss 137 games. The Angels are happy to have him on the mound tonight. He's got good pitches, and how about 28 wins in 2 years, 14 and 15. So you know how much they were relying on him, and when he went down, a big blow to the Angels starting staff.
Well, when he's healthy, he's an ace. Yes. Maven, Trout, Calhoun in the outfield. Escobar, Simmons, Espinosa, Cronin. The infield, Maldonado is the catcher. So Garrett Richards, he feels good to be back out on the mound.
Well, the stem cell treatment that they're doing now versus the Tommy John surgery, you're looking at 14, 18 months, and he did it, missed 137 games, and he seems that first fastball is any indication. He's pretty good.
He's a key to the success of the Angels. He's a legit #1 starter.
Well, when he went to cover first base at Fenway Park a couple years ago, and knee.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
It's ugly. But coming back, and what an arm.
Lowry to follow, and then Healy. It was May 1st of last year when Richards left that start, and they looked at his arm, and he had the ulnar collateral ligament damage. Look at 2014, and then 2015. That's when he got hurt at Fenway Park. Line drive, center field, and a base hit for Matt Joyce. So Matt Joyce gets his first hit as a member of the Athletics. Tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Now, Garrett Richards is a good guy for that, Ray. According to the Angels' notes, leads the American League with an average fastball velocity of 96.1 miles per hour since the start of the 2014 season. There you go.
Yeah, he tops out a little bit over 97 with his fastball. 2 and 4 plus a cut fastball. There's the velocity. 97.
So the UCL injury almost always is corrected by reconstructive surgery. But as you said, Richard said, I want to try something else. And he tried the stem cell, and he's hoping that it works. I hope it works for him.
I do too. Angels really hope it works.
0-1 to Lowry. That one runs off the plate 97 miles an hour. So there's the velocity by Garrett Richards. Average fastball and cutter velocity. So pretty consistent. He's not losing anything. And we'll see where he's at this year. He also has a good breaking ball. And now he jumps ahead of Lowry 1-2. Lowry off to a good start. He's 5 for 8 in the first 2 games of this series. He has scored 3 runs. So good swing in the early going for Jed Lowry. Healy to follow.
Jed has talked about over the course of his seasons that he's gotten off to a good start. And how about against Matt Shoemaker? That was a good start with a cutter in on his hands, took him deep for his first, and he has kind of the bat with the doubles that he is a perennial doubles man, and he just missed the cycle. Vince Cotronio's favorite part of the game. But, you know, he did something that.
Nice play by Crone. Fires to second for one. Back to first. Not in time as Richards maybe searching for the bag a little bit with that right foot.
I don't know if I were Garrett Richards, I would cover first base
Just
ever
get
again.
out of there.
And I tell you, great play by the first baseman, and that was pretty neat. And also the turn. And watch Garrett Richards, that he is hustling to first base, trying to find the bag as well as, and he just missed it. And boy, he's a little upset with himself. It's tough to watch for the ball, and that's why it's important for a pitcher, if there's got to be a play at first, for the pitcher to get to the bag so he can be like a first baseman instead of what Richards did there, trying to catch the ball, find the bag at the same time. And you hope that you don't get stepped on, or in his case at Fenway, hurt his knee. But C.J. Crone made a great play.
So Lowry now at first, 1 out. Here's Healy. Booming home run for Healy last night. It made him feel better. A quiet night on opening night.
Well, as we have talked about, Cap, it's going to be an unbelievable season for him, because last year he was at third base exclusively, and now between third, where he is tonight, and first, his natural position, and DHing for a young player. I think the A's realize that he's pretty good between the ears, that he can handle the different things that he's going to be asked to do this year, especially defensively. And Shoemaker, fastball, and you see a pitcher put his head down, that says it all. And just after Shoemaker got hit in the head, surprising he was able to pitch.
Espinoza, the second baseman, pulled over right near second base for Healy. Foul back. 98 miles an hour. Garrett Richards.
That was a cut fastball too, so not only good velocity but pretty good movement.
Well, if you're the Angels, you can keep your fingers crossed that Richards stays healthy, and the guy that's pitching tomorrow afternoon, Tyler Skaggs, who's another very talented youngster. those two guys stay healthy, and then you put them with Nolasco and Shoemaker, not a bad rotation.
That's right.
Nasty breaking ball on 1-2, and Healy swings and misses.
Well, if you don't like injuries, don't watch, because Garrett Richards went over to cover first base, and this is not good right there. Kind of slipped his knee, then see how he's looking back too, and he grabbed his left knee. And
I remember when you and I saw it, and you see a play like that, and it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
You know, the knee just doesn't. It doesn't go in the right direction. You could tell right away that it was going to be serious. This is the same type of deal.
Yep, where his knees are a little bit under, but had to reach for the bag, and that's all a result. You don't want to get too close to the bag and have the runner run over you. So you try to catch and then find the bag. You hope to have the ball quickly enough, but on a double play attempt, it's a little bit more difficult. The play at first, flipping the ball from the first baseman to the pitcher, is much easier.
Strike at the knees to Chris Davis, and it's quickly 0-2.
Back-to-back fastballs, back-to-back pitches, perfectly thrown. One outside corner, this one down and in.
So Davis behind in the count. Maldonado sets up on the outside corner. It's blocked by Maldonado. He's blocked a lot of balls in this series.
He's very good at it, and he does it the right way. Breaking ball, as he did with Nolasco. Is that probably, of the ones we have seen, his worst effort, but it got the job done. He usually smothers the ball in between his legs and his body.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. And now it's 2-2 to Davis.
Chris Davis can lay off that pitch and the previous pitch, the breaking ball. Who knows how many home runs he's going to be able to hit. Stephen Vogt behind him. And Chris Davis talked about getting Rajai Davis. Of course, he is going to be used at the top of the order, and like tonight at the bottom of the order, but regardless, Chris Davis wants to see him in on base. He got the whole right side of the infield open.
In the air, down the right field line. Calhoun cannot quite get it.
It's kind of shading him that way, but still a long run to get to it.
Calhoun getting his sprints in. So we'll do it again on a 2-2 pitch. Setting up inside. Just missed.
And it would not be surprising for Chris Davis to get some sort of a wrinkle, slider, cut fastball, even a curveball. But I think the Angels and everybody in baseball knows the power of Chris Davis. They throw him a fastball. Of course, he hit mistakes on Monday night, a slider and a curveball. So those were mistakes. Fastball, good location, good velocity, a little bit tougher to hit.
Lowry will run. Blocked on a 3-2 breaking ball. How about that?
Yeah. That's respect. That's simply a pitcher catcher saying, I'll take my chances with the next guy. But you see the rotation. This is ball out of his hand. It was a ball. And a good block by Maldonado with a curveball bouncing out in front of the plate. So I think Chris Davis, again, earlier in the season last year, swinging a lot of sliders running away from him. Tonight, just looking at that at bat, it's almost like he said, you're going to throw me the breaking ball, but I'm not going to offer at it. And if he can stay off of that pitch, wow, who knows what kind of year he could have.
Yeah, I don't, listen, I don't think Chris Davis is, I mean, he's always going to strike out a fair amount because he's a power hitter.
Yeah.
But I think if, like you're saying, just lay off some of the pitches that aren't strikes at all that maybe he swung at last year. All of a sudden, the batting average goes up a little bit. Start knocking in a few more runs without hitting home run.
You look at 42 and 102.
Sure.
Last year.
With a 247 batting average. So let's say he hits 265, 270. That's probably 7, 8 more RBIs.
Absolutely.
And then you're getting into superstar status. Knocking in that many runs. That time, Maldonado did not do a good job blocking. In fact, it's been really good at it.
It's almost like he was fooled. He stabbed at it.
Yeah, he did. He just kind of.
Yeah, but that's not technique, and you're going to see why, because we have seen him smother the ball. Watch how he just jabs at this one. Palm down. Didn't use his body, and again, crossed up. Who knows? Something happened because he's too good of a catcher to let that happen.
Could it be, Ray, that maybe sometimes a guy doesn't think the ball's going to be in the dirt? He thinks he can catch it before it gets to the dirt.
And that's the wrong thing, because again, as a catcher, you're taught to block and not be a hero and try to catch it, because things like that are going to happen.
Two and 0 to vote. That one in first strike. So, if nothing else, the A's have made Richards work in this inning. 23 pitches.
Except for Stephen Vogt, as his manager looks on, is to decide now first base is open. Are they going to pitch to me with the right hand in the on-deck circle and Trevor Plouffe, or am I going to get a pretty good pitch to hit? He got a cutter 2-0 that was down in the lower part of the strike zone. But as a hitter, you have to be prepared mentally to say, okay, every pitch I'm going to be ready to hit. If they pitch around me, they'll take the walk.
That one chopped over the mound. Simmons charges. He's got it. And he throws out both side retired. So the A's threaten but do not score. No score after one.
Jerrell Cotton 2017, and the A's are hopeful that he can pitch as well as he did last year. He's the third in the rotation, and what he did last year, remember at one time they said after a while just no more than 6 innings, so many pitches. But that's going to change, and if you get a lead, keep it. That's what the bullpen is there for coming into the season. The thought of having a young starting staff that maybe you'd have to go to the bullpen more, or last night they had the lead but could not hold it. So get the combination of the good starting pitching and the solid bullpen, it's going to win a lot of games.
Here's Pujols, who hits it hard, but Ryan Healy stays down across the diamond, and that's out number 1. All right, here's our true story, brought to you by McDonald's. It was September 7th of 2016 when Jerrell Cotton made his major league debut against the Angels right here at the Coliseum, and he got the win. Pitched into the 7th inning, gave up just a couple of hits through 102 pitches, so a day to remember for Jerrell Cotton. And he walked off the mound with a W.
He did.
Here's C.J. Cron.
Simmons got the first hit against him after 9 consecutive outs. Of course, in his start in AAA, a near perfect game, 8 2/3. There's a line against the Angels. Young lefty by the name of Barry Zito also made his major league debut against the Angels here at the Coliseum.
Cron's the only one that really did anything. He had a home run off Cotton.
That was their only run.
Kind of a knuckleball that gets under the glove of Simeon. It'll be a hit. First hit for the Angels.
Well, against Cotton, this is at the Coliseum. Fastball, belt high, in and gone. Almost not gone.
Batting in the 6th position, left fielder, number 9.
Cron can hit, as we talked and have talked about him and his importance to this club playing first base. As Albert Pujols is the DH. Cron has gone back and forth between AAA and the big leagues, but probably here to stay. It's blowing on your hands after hitting a knuckleball. Off the end of the bat, knuckling past Simmons. Simmons almost looked like he didn't see the ball coming off the bat.
At least if you're the hitter, at least you're doing it standing at first base after a base hit.
Base hit, yeah.
Cameron Maben shows bunt, and the pitch is close, but a touch outside, I guess.
See, that's the side to side, east to west, and see Lance Barksdale. That's Stephen Vogt talking to him. Here is it. Let's take a look at it, and well, one baseball outside that box. Stephen Vogt didn't like the call. See, as a catcher, you do it right. Keep your back to the umpire and make your comments, and Stephen did it perfectly.
So Cotton didn't get the call on the first pitch. He did get the call on this pitch.
See, the north and south, the up and down. Saw that with Chad Barrett on Monday night.
So 2-1 now to Maben. Maben is 2 for 8 in the series with a run scored. Simmons will be next. Both those Maben hits came last night. It was his birthday yesterday. He is now 30 years old.
He's born on a good day.
That's right. It was Ray Fosse's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday a day later.
Thank you. See, he doesn't give the high strike, though.
How does it feel to be 48? 47.
Not that old.
That's a good attitude.
If I'm 47, that means I got married when I was a baby. No, listen, that's just simply a number. That's all it is.
Exactly
just a number.
Good pitch there on the corner, and now it's 3-2.
You keep the fastball down in the knee area on the corner. Maben hoping it was out of the strike zone, but that's a perfectly thrown 3-1 fastball. No chance for any hitter, I don't care how great you are, to do anything with that pitch in that location.
Payoff pitch, runner goes, missed outside as Cron was taken off. So 2 on, 1 out. 1 out single, and then the walk, and Simmons will hit.
I think when you play the Angels and Mike Scioscia manages, which he has for a long time, you assume that the runner in 3-2 is going to be on the move regardless of who the runner is, who the hitter is. And it's simply a matter, see if the hitter can make contact. 18th season, longest tenured manager in Major League Baseball. Over the years, people thought maybe he'd move on to another team, maybe the Dodgers, who he played for so well, but he's had a long-term deal with the Angels. Has won championship under his belt, 2002. And an excellent manager.
.281 last year for Simmons. 2 for 7 to start this season. He got a pitch to hit. He fouled it straight back. Not where Cotton wanted it. So Vogt will have a chat with his young right-hander. Cotton, 25 years old. Part of a very young A's rotation.
Yeah, Kendall Graveman started Monday night 26. That is great. You have a good young rotation, getting experienced pitching at the major league level. Learn something every game. Kendall Graveman did. Worked on it today on the side.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Last night started Benai to your right. Triggs will get the start tomorrow.
So he's got a chance to sit and watch the first 3 games of the series.
You try to learn every time you watch. Yeah, that's the key.
That could be an advantage, huh?
I think so. I think it's always good. You pay attention, and you could talk to last night's starting pitcher. And of course, Benai is left-handed, Triggs is right-handed, but you can still look back to Kendall Graveman on Monday. Watch Cotton tonight, 2 right-handers.
Reached for, poked over first, fair ball. Crone is going to come in to score. Maven to third, he'll stop there, and Simmons with a bloop double to give the Angels a 1-0 lead. You make contact, sometimes good things can happen.
Well, a breaking ball, and it was out of the strike zone.
Batting
He
in
was
the eighth
fooled,
position.
but there's your breaking ball, and he was staying back. You know, he's fooled on fastballs, and he goes to that pitch and just found a way to find the hole in right field in fair territory, and he'll take it.
So a run in, and here's the hero from last night, Danny Espinosa. And that one spins Espinosa out of the way. It was a breaking ball from Dull that just got a little bit too much of the plate.
Did not get it down and in where he wanted it, left it in the middle of the plate, and can't jump that high.
That was what they like to call a gut punch.
Yeah.
Feeling so good after the A's took the lead. That one stays inside. Now it's 2-0. Maldonado will be next. For Espinosa, that was his first hit as a member of the Angels.
Now, if he were inclined, if this is a pitch run, Bob Melvin could say 4, and he'd go to first base without throwing the last 2 pitches. So it's the intentional walk can occur at any time in the at bat.
Changeup at 75 miles an hour.
And you might as well pitch him carefully. And Maldonado, the right-hander in the on-deck circle, if you walk him, it do set up a double play possibility. But changeup, this is perfect. This is called pitching backwards. Fastball count, throws a great changeup, and you have that type of changeup. Why not throw it again and again and again?
Keep throwing.
You know, just keep throwing.
Especially with first base open.
Yeah, and hitters not. He's going to be swinging at the delivery thinking fastball.
Little flare, and that's going to do more damage. It's going to knock home a pair, and it's 3-0 Angels. What can you do? A couple of blue hits. Give Espinosa a couple of RBIs.
Good changeup, then a fastball in, and the result, broken bat with a 2-run single, and Simmons off second base. He knew the ball was hit softly and kind of looked back halfway, scoring easily. Nothing Chris Davis could do.
Actually, the fact that it was a broken bat helped the Angels.
Absolutely.
It was not going to get out to the outfielders where they could catch it.
Batting in the 9th position, the catcher, number 12, Martin Maldonado.
So here's Maldonado. After 1 out, it's gone single, walk, double, single. Cotton at 27 pitches, but he had a nice easy first inning. Different story here in the second.
And you know, you think about the Maben walk. If it's a strike and Cron's running, pretty good chance Stephen Vogel's going to throw him out. Could have been a strike him out, throw him out, double play, but instead Maben walks and they just started going from that point.
First strike. Interesting note here. The average fastball for Jerrell Cotton, 92 miles an hour. The average miles per hour on his changeup is 77. So that's a difference of 15 miles per hour. That's a very large difference. Would you say, Ray? I mean, I mean, the average
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Yeah,
okay.
that's, you know, you'd like to see at least 10 differential, but you go almost 15. Step off that.
Espinosa is going to get himself in a rundown. He may have been better off just to keep running to second base, but he stopped. And it's an out for the Athletics. Cotton handled that well as he stepped off, remained under control, and just turned around.
Well, that's the key. When he takes off, and we have seen guys just walk to second base, but that is great running back to first base, tagged up by Alonso. But there's the key. To step off, you have to step off because he's taking off from first base.
So 0-1 the count to Maldonado, and now it's 0-2.
And those guys were not congratulating him with a high five for getting picked off. It was for the 2 runs.
Cliff Pennington,
Yeah.
second year with the Angels. Another flare, and that one's fair. Maldonado's going to try for 2. Joyce spins around, fires it in, and it's just a touch late. And Maldonado has a double.
Espinosa, a fastball in. And it looks like maybe after the Trout strikeout on the changeup, every hitter since then has been sitting changeup. And he's got a good one. When you see hits like this on the chalk, and the 2 strike hits, that's what's devastating, because one pitch to get out of it and getting it out. It's
Well, if a team starts sitting on a pitch, Ray, does that mean you're just simply throwing it too much? Or
are they just trying to sit back? I don't know that they could hit the changeup if they're looking for it, but to see some of the swings on fastballs, that's the surprising. Makes you feel like they're sitting on something hard and getting soft.
And it's not like they're ripping balls, line drives all over the field here. But
I said looking hard, getting soft, just the opposite. They seem to be looking for something off speed and swinging late on fastballs.
Jay Davis grabs it side retired. The Angels score 3 runs on 4 hits. Another big hit for Danny Espinosa. So the Angels lead 3-0.
This moment in MLB history is brought
Webster when you can to check out the new athletics mural on the side of the PG&E building. It's 95 feet tall, and the concept came between the collaboration with the with the luminaries, and it's an elephant with the city on its back riding together. PG&E donated the building, a side of the building, and the city of Oakland and the mayor's office were super helpful in making this project happen, and the fans even got to get involved as they got to tag the building during its unveiling.
Scary looking, huh?
It's a big,
mean.
yeah.
Like, don't mess with me, kind
Yeah.
of deal. Look at it.
That is. Wow.
I like it.
He said Dave Cavill, the president, was on that
right.
boom and was up moving around and signing and using the spray paint to
He's
put
more
his
brave
name.
than I would be.
Yeah.
Rooted in Oakland. Indeed. He's trailing 3-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Plouffe, Alonso, and Simeon.
And every pitcher wants a lead, and for Garrett Richards, there's a couple of runners on base in the first inning, gets out of it, then sees his club score him 3, and a little bit different story for him in the second.
Nasty pitch. 1-2 breaking ball. So that is strikeout number 2 for Garrett Richards.
Look at the sharp break, and he threw it hard. It's kind of delivery, almost like Jared Weaver. Saw him so often, but Jared stopped throwing 96, 98 a long time ago. He was in the mid-80s, so, but similar type of delivery. So talk about pitchers watching each other. Maybe Garrett Richards watched a little bit of Jared Weaver, especially with his delivery.
Jared Weaver with the Padres, and it will be very strange to see Jared Weaver in a different uniform.
Well, maybe he can learn from Trevor Cahill.
That's right. Trevor Cahill is a Padre.
And Tyson Ross is not. Tyson, a great year, coming off surgery, and ends up with the Rangers.
We'll see those Rangers this weekend.
Sounds like going to see a former Athletic and A.J. Griffin on the first game on Friday.
Rangers leading the Indians right now 6-4 in the 8th inning in Arlington. Indians have won the first 2 games of that series. Now the Rangers will have tomorrow off, and then host the Athletics. So first trip to Arlington. That's right. Let's see, who is it? A.J. Griffin, Yu Darvish, Martin Perez. That's the 3 pitchers that the A's will face, and the A's will send Alcantara, Graveman, and Manaea to the mound. So always good series down there. It's the good Rangers team.
So watching Kendall Graveman today, of course, he pitched Monday. He will pitch again against the Rangers, as you mentioned. And here the problems, as mentioned, Alcantara, who is in the rotation number 5, along with Graveman and Manaea. And there is A.J. Griffin, the long hair again.
Yeah, he looks now again like he did when he was with the A's. For about 3 years there, he didn't recognize him. Yeah, the Rangers are waiting for Tyson Ross to get off the disabled list. It's going to be a little while. They're waiting for Andrew Cashner as well, another guy they signed. I think they also knew going in that those 2 guys, Cashner and Ross, have history of being injured.
Right.
But when healthy, they both have a chance to help the Rangers, certainly.
But watching Kendall Graveman today take his work on the side of the bullpen. But he was already, of course, as he was pitching, it wasn't just going through the motions. He was thinking about the Rangers, which is his next start. Pitched well against the Angels, getting the win on Monday night, thanks to Chris Davis' home run of the 6th. But he knows his next start in Arlington against Rangers. So while he was working under watchful eye of Kurt Young, pitching coach, and Scott Emerson, pitching coach slash bullpen coach, working with Kurt.
Fastball at 97 miles an hour, and that's strikeout number 3.
The elevated fastball at 97. It's a difficult pitch for any hitter to catch up. Just the top of the
Batting
strike
in the 8th
zone.
position, shortstop, Number 10.
Right over the top and excellent velocity.
So here's Marcus Semien.
Chris Bassett standing next to Adam Rosales. He's coming off the Tommy John surgery. He was pitching off the mound today. Looks like he is coming back nicely. There is Chris.
Let's not forget about Chris Bassett.
That's right.
Because if you remember Chris Bassett, that was not a comfortable at bat going up against him. Hard thrower.
Yeah, give him any run support, which he did not get when he first joined the A's, but he can pitch. Unfortunately, had to and has to spend some time on the DL with the Tommy John surgery.
2 pitch to Semien, breaking ball, and Garrett Richards just struck out the side, all 3 swinging. So on to the 3rd, 3-0 Angels. On a Wednesday night from the Coliseum, Jerrell Cotton, after a tough second inning, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and also a walk. He'll face Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. There was Rich Hill and Josh Reddick to the Dodgers for Jerrell Cotton, Mickey Montas, and young man by the name of Grant Holmes. So 2 of them are in the big leagues. One in the rotation, one in the bullpen.
And the other one pitched well.
And the other one is a youngster. Grant Holmes. There's going to be a base hit. Holmes just turned 21 years old, so he's got a nice future as well.
Now for 2017, the A's are introducing a Big 3 bobblehead day featuring Mark Mulder, Tim Hudson, and Barry Zito. Purchase a group of 25 or more in the field level on select games, and your group will receive a limited edition Oakland A's Big 3 bobbleheads. There are only a few games available for this popular offer, so reserve now by calling 510-638-GO-A's or visiting athletics.com/groups.
Well, Cotton back into the stretch as he faces Mike Trout. Fastball. Trout struck out swinging in the first inning. So yeah, Grant Holmes, as we checked today, he's starting the year in Double-A. So 21-year-old in Double-A, that's pretty good.
Very good.
Another young, talented pitcher to keep an eye on in the A's minor league system.
And what's good and impressive about that is that usually Double-A, there are times when a team will bring players from Double-A to the big leagues. Triple-A typically is the year or the place where they are, but AA is a very competitive league as well, if sometimes as much if not more than AAA at some places.
Dodgers last year, and those are the minor league numbers for both the Dodgers and the Athletics. 0-2 to Trout. Swing and a miss. Vogt wanted a high fastball, and he got one. So Trout strikes out for the second time.
Remember, at first at bat, he struck out on a 1-2 changeup. This time, watch the little swing, almost delayed, and he waited and couldn't catch up with a good fastball. So really, it becomes a kind of a cat and mouse between catcher, pitcher, and hitter as to what he's going to throw. And Mike Trout can handle any kind of a fastball. That one, he did not, and maybe because of the changeup in first at bat. You're unanimous or two-time MVP at his age. A lot of respect.
First pitch to Pujols is low.
Well, to Mike Trout, first pitch, second pitch, and the third, the fastball, all in the thigh to the chest area with the location.
A little up. That may be the best place to pitch Trout, because he really is a low ball hitter more than a high ball hitter.
Simply just drops the head of the bat on the low pitch.
In first strike. Getting back to Cotton, showed you his minor league numbers last year, but if you throw in his big league innings as well, his total innings pitched last year was 165, which is a nice number for a young man who spent most of the year in the minor leagues. It sets you up to add 15 to 20 more innings to that this year. I'm into the starting pitcher innings pitched thing this year. It's kind of my theme, I guess.
So when are you going to go to 300? Never again, my friend. Never again.
No, I'll be happy with Cotton getting to 180. How about that?
Well, what'd you say? How many pitched 200 innings?
Yeah.
15 or something?
15 guys.
Incredible.
In fact, I saw the note and I wrote it down, and it's the fact that the number is shrinking, Ray. In 2014, 34 pitchers threw 200 innings or more. In 2015, 28. In 2016, 15.
And you could probably say bullpen as a result or reason for those.
Yeah, I don't think it's because starters aren't as good. I think it's, you have deeper bullpens now. Vogt scrambles after it, and Calhoun will go to second. But you go from 34 to 15 in a 3-year stretch. That's a surprise.
A spiked curveball, and Stephen Vogt did his best to get down and block it, but as he went to his left, the ball hit his chest, ended up over towards the A's dugout.
So 2-2 to Albert Pujols. He grounded out to third in the second inning. Good changeup there. That one at 78 miles an hour.
Scott Emerson was telling me today that statistically, and of course they have stats on everything, percentages, that I thought an interesting one that he said between 75 and 100 pitches, it's worse than it is when you're 100 115. You would think it'd be the reverse. But and I think there are times, and Emo knows because he was a pitcher and they'd have all the stats, but I thought it was interesting that the more pitches he threw, sometimes he got better. And I think we have seen that with certain pitchers, that sometimes it does take longer. In the pitch count, you should just throw it away because it may take them 30, 40, 50 pitches at times to feel good. And if you're sticking around the 100 pitch mark, then by the time you start to feel well, then you're gone.
Good battle here between Pujols and Cotton.
Kev, a lot of this is because of his running scoring position. Not that Albert doesn't try every at bat, but even more so. All he's trying to do is get a base hit now. The outfield deep. A lot of room in the outfield.
Plouffe has it. And Plouffe throws out Albert Pujols with Calhoun going to third, 2 outs. Healy, I'm sorry, I said Trevor Plouffe, who was there the first 2 games by mistake.
No, that's
T.J. Crow.
Haley moving around, and he was the DH, and now Plouffe's the DH, so it's what they're doing with those players. But Albert Pujols battled, and he's trying to get his first knock.
Keep him quiet.
Yeah. But there's the wild pitch that puts the runner in score position, stays out of double play.
Crone ends back out of the way.
Well, that's the part of the batting order from 5 down that got to Jerrell Cotton. Top part, of course, Yahoo in this inning, but other than that, it's been the top part, the bottom part of the batting order that's done the damage.
Yeah, top 4, 1 for 8. You know what? It was a little bit like that last night too. The bottom 4 or 5 in the order really won the game for the Angels. You got a little help from the guys up top.
But how much better does the team feel as a team whenever the guys you're expected to do the serious damage watch the other part of the lineup do it?
1-2 that ball took off.
Stephen Vogt set up inside and had to reach quickly to his right to keep the ball from going past him. And
Calhoun at third. Defense is straight away for Crone. Did he go? No. Check with John Tumpane, the first base umpire.
well, curveball almost got him, and strong wrist. No. Stephen Vogt a good job of blocking the ball, keeping the runner at third.
Foul back. That one up a little bit. Crone had a good look at it. Pitch number 50 coming up for Jerrell Cotton. 2 2/3 innings so far. But with a fastball, 94 miles an hour. Got kind of sneaky velocity, doesn't he?
That's what the off-speed pitches will do for a pitcher. Make the fastball it's that much crisper. Not in the first, but after that, he's had to really work hard. Change up, wiggle of the fingers. That's usually indicating change up.
Got him looking. Dropped it right on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Couple of strikeouts for Cotton in the inning. And the Angels do not score. 7th inning. How about Rajai Davis? First of all, heck of an at-bat. Hits the ball off Marte's glove at first, and he ends up with a triple. And then the ball scoots past Escobar. Rajai Davis hustles home, and that gave the A's at the time a 6-4 lead. Unfortunately, did not hold up. Bunt attempt popped up. Crone has it, 1 out. Rajai Davis hitting in the 9th spot tonight. Funny, you look at that play last night where Rajai slid into third base. I wanted to ask Rajai today, but he was taking batting practice. I wonder if the ball hit his foot and may have just deflected a little bit. I don't know if it did or not.
23, Matt Joyce.
Deflected away from Escobar, the third baseman.
A lot of times that will happen.
Yeah.
The throw comes in, hits the runner.
And you also saw Espinosa. He just hesitated a little bit. I think he may have been surprised that Rajai was trying for third. So here's the leadoff man, Matt Joyce. Joyce singled in the first.
I always think it's unfair for a hitter to have to wait almost an hour before he gets his first at bat. Rajai Davis attempts a bunt, and he's down after 1 pitch.
Simmons, what a play. Gets up quickly, throws in time, and that's a terrific play by a 2-time Gold Glove winner. Great play, and how about how quick he was able to get up.
Well, they shade him just enough, otherwise that's a base hit. But man, he did pop up quickly. Matt Joyce out of the box quickly, but watch this. Catches the ball, and in the same move, it's sliding, picks it up, and then a very strong, accurate arm. So down a little bit, but man, to be able to get to it, and you kind of lose sight of where the runner is, the hitter, and that's why he's got a strong arm, but he did hurry and got a little bit of a sinking action on it.
So with 2 outs, here's Lowry, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first. So he's got some hardware. He's got 2 just like you do, right?
Yeah. A little different now, though.
Backhanded, fires to first, dug out by Crone, and another nice play by Andrelton Simmons, and the A's go quietly in the bottom of the 3rd.
Is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Comes in both 4-door and 5-door options. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Good look outside at Championship Plaza, where there's games to be played. There's, I don't know.
Do they even care about baseball?
Well, they can glance up at the big video board. Check out one of the food trucks. So I saw our old friend Ed Montague today.
Yes,
right?
Eddie Montague, yeah.
So he was coming up the elevator. I said, Eddie, you just getting here? He said, no, I was out looking at the food trucks because they looked pretty good when you guys were talking about them. And he said, I saw some of the food that got brought up to you guys. It looked pretty good. I wanted to go check out the food trucks. So
it's Eddie. That's an umpire for you. Whether you're active or retired, some things never change.
So he was heading out to Championship Plaza for some good eats. 0-2 to Cameron Maben. Those gentlemen are working hard. Simeon has it. Quick throw to first, and Maben is very fast, and they just got him.
Nice play by Marcus Simeon, and play like that, that's one of the hard ones. You have to charge, you kind of circle around and get himself in a good position to make the quick throw. Maben runs well and made it a close play, but Marcus Simeon with an accurate throw, a lot on it, especially on the move. Where Jed Lowry was playing, a lot of times he would, at shortstop, he did charge and play everything on the run as Marcus Simeon just did. See the 14 errors fewer from 15 to 16, and it's just going to get better and better.
Oh, 0-1 to Simmons, who had an RBI double in the second inning when the Angels scored their 3 runs.
Our friend Buddy Bell's name was brought up, farm director for the White Sox, and talking to Marcus about playing every day, which he loves to do, and he said, by the way, let's not forget who the farm director was at White Sox where he came up. It was Buddy Bell, and Buddy played every day and played well.
So 0-2 to Andrelton Simmons.
Now, Jerrell Cotton at 57 pitches, of course, trying to be kind of the long man stopper right now. I always think that a starting pitcher wants to start out with no runs on the board. Once he gives up runs, he has to keep them close without giving up any more runs, so his club can try to come back. Good experience for the young man. Campbell's getting ready for Hicks' next start against the Rangers in Arlington.
And that one is hit deep to left center field. Rajai Davis will have just enough room to make the catch. That ball was up around his eyes, and Simmons took a rip at it.
Kendall Graveman on Monday night. Very nice start, getting his first ever opening night start, and started painting the outside corner after first pitches to Escobar missed, but then elevated fastball. He got the good sinker down and in. He even thought after the home run that Trout hit wasn't that bad of a pitch. Sinker down and in, he just dropped the head of the bat on it. You talked about sometimes better to pitch him up in the zone versus down. Pitched him down. He had a 2-run home run. Credit also to Bob Melvin for keeping him in after he gave up a hit in the 6th inning. At 104 pitches, thought maybe he would come out, but he stayed in the game. Chris Davis hit the home run. He gets the victory.
0-1 to Danny Espinosa. That one to the backstop.
I thought the smile on the face of Jerrell Cotton was great. That Simmons took a fastball head high, almost hit it out. Cotton going, "What are you? Can't be kidding me?" You know, everybody at this level you expect to get strikes and don't swing at pitches that badly.
It was Evan Gaddis-like.
Yeah,
right?
don't even bring him up. Oh, still can't believe that pitch that he hit.
It was about like that.
Exactly, and got on top of it to boot.
Alonso has a long run, and he makes a nice catch. Heck of a play by yonder Alonso. So it's worth a smile, that play. So was the ball hit by Simmons. 3 up, 3 down inning for Jerrell Cotton. Is now known as NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity.
How about some power from the A's lineup?
Yeah, get something going.
Yeah, they can be powered by Xfinity and powered by the A's bats.
The A's have 1 hit, and that was Matt Joyce leading off the bottom of the first. So Richards has been good. He's got 4 strikeouts. He has walked 1. Facing Healy, Davis, and Vogt. First pitch, inside corner, a strike. Ryan Healy struck out in the first inning. The second inning is when Richards struck out the side.
His fastball, that 97, 98 mile an hour fastball for Garrett Richards, really allows him to utilize his other pitches, especially his curveball and a little slider cutter that he's throwing. Why don't you move over to the dugout, Mr. Maldonado? He moved so far outside, the pitch was up and almost hit Healy. That's called a waste pitch.
A little bit, yeah.
A serious waste pitch. I think it shook up Garrett Richards. I'm not accustomed to throw a pitch that far outside.
One tapped. Foul. .47 pitches for Richards, so his pitch count's pretty good. These need to. They obviously need to get on the board. They need to jack up that pitch count a little bit as well. Good take there, 2-2.
Well, we talked about hitters and how an at-bat to an at-bat, how they adjust, and based on what a pitcher might be doing. Chris Davis adjusted well with Garrett Richards throwing all his breaking pitches, laid off, and ended up walking.
Good swing by Healy. So the count remains 2-2.
Food trucks and diamond level. A lot of food.
Decisions. Popped up right in front of the Angels dugout. Maldonado will watch as it drops into the first row.
Still always amazed that when a foul ball for a right-hander's bat to the right side will always go in the seats, but a lefty will come back on the third base. It will always come back.
Yep.
Just the way the ball is off the bat.
Got to make the play, right?
Oh.
Hit
Wow.
both hands.
Check your thumbs. Might need an x-ray.
2 ice bags.
Wow.
3-2 now to Healy. Ow, ow, ow.
Well, he said, now C.J. Cron did that. How come it hurts more for me?
Not getting a whole lot of sympathy from the
No.
people around him either. Chip Hale, smooth as ever.
Chip Hale was working with Ryan Healy, taking ground balls on the warning track. I said to Clay Wood, don't they like your grass? And he said, Chip says my warning track is better than other teams' fields. Pick it. Ah, boy, Chipper. 2 hands, spread the fingers so you don't clank it off the end of the fingers, and give a souvenir in the stands. Ah, boy, Chipper.
Healy hits it hard, backhanded by Escobar. Escobar across the diamond. And that is out number 1. And let's check in with Angela, who is standing by downstairs.
Thanks, guys. Lots of people have great memories playing Little League Baseball, and what better way to create more memories for the next generation than by coming to Little League Days with the A's, presented by Black Bear Diner. Sunday, April 23rd and Sunday, May 7th. Little League Days feature a pregame festival, an on-field parade for uniformed players and coaches, and a giveaway item. To purchase and for discounts on groups of 25 or more, visit athletics.com/Little League or call 510-638-GO-A's.
Little League Days, always fun. Watching those Little Leaguers parade around. Well before the game.
Will Jack be there?
Maybe.
But he won't
Jack
sit.
likes to come up here.
I
That's
was going to say he won't sit in the upper deck. Say you can, team could go sit up there. I'm going to sit with Daddy.
So 1-1 to Chris Davis, who walked in the first inning. Richards quickly off the mound, and he gets Davis for out number 2.
Well, he's making it look easy. Richards, a walk and a hit, and that's it for the A's.
Now batting the catcher, the 21.
What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row
Yeah.
retired. Very good ball-strike ratio.
That was after the walk in the first inning. And I'd say Charles Nagy and Mike Scioscia and the front office, the upper of the Angels, have to be ecstatic watching Garrett Richards pitch tonight. There's Nagy, that's Raymond with the silver goatee, and Mike Scioscia. He always, Dave Raymond's up to his same old tricks, isn't he?
Yep. He's passing on all the stuff he hears right over to the A's dugout. He's been doing that for a long, long time.
Well, when
surprised nobody's caught on.
Well, when the visiting manager and staff start to ask for his opinion, that's when it's going a little bit too far.
Yeah. Two 2-0 to Stephen Vogt, grounded out to short back in the first inning.
Stephen Vogt will catch tonight and watch tomorrow. It's the left-hander Skaggs, the scheduled pitch, which means Josh Phegley gets his first game. Adam Rosales will probably be in the lineup. Maybe even Mark Canha, so he may get all 3 of those guys in the lineup. Usually they're told by the skipper Bob Melvin the night before. Adam Rosales, Aaron Bush, the hitting coach, skipper Bob Melvin, so they're all ready. I asked Bob about opening night, and he said it means that it's for real and I'm nervous. So he is game face all the time for every game. Not the spring training is not the same with the evaluations, but you can see the intensity for the skipper as the season begins and the games.
Stephen Vogt hits one high in the air to right field, but Calhoun is going to get back there, and Vogt just missed it. So rolling along is Mr. Garrett Richards. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. Angels lead 3-0.
Creek Casino Resort. Tuesday, April the 18th, the A's take on the Texas Rangers. Everyone that purchases a special ticket for this event will receive an exclusive A's Korean Heritage beanie. Also a Chevy free parking Tuesday. That's always nice. To purchase and for more information on discounts for groups of 25 or more, visit athletics.com/Korean or call 510-638-GO-A's.
Look at how crowded the Shibe Park Tavern is.
Well, there's probably more people there in the Championship Plaza than are in the yard here watching the game. So
I don't remember the West Side Club being that crowded.
No. Shibe Park is going to draw a lot of attention. See all those monitors in there? They're watching the game just like the people outside. So, you know, they always talk about Stomper and the kids zone and all those things for the kiddies to come out. How about for the adults and adult beverages?
Sure, that's right. As long as you got a spot to see what's going on in the game.
And that's the monitors. Look at all the TV monitors, big screens. So they're there and they're enjoying behind the glass so they don't have the elements. And there's a Cocoa Crisp jersey.
Sure. Still doesn't have a job. Can you believe that?
That is beautiful. That's a great look. Think we could do a game in there, Kipe?
Sure.
Wow, that's
right up against the glass.
They say 10 boxes of items from Philadelphia. Shibe Park.
Place is jumping, as we like to say. Yeah, we could have our broadcast table right up against the window and do the game from there.
Actually, just use monitors. That way we could sit
at
where
the
we want to.
Get a Fresca.
That's
and,
right. Hey, Tommy Ed's is an Emmy Award winner. He can direct and have the cameras make us look like we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a jam shot.
That's kitchen time. See, he's waiting to change up too and realize I better swing at this fastball. He hit the bloop double first at bat this time.
Hitters claim that sometimes you can smell the burn in a little bit.
I've never seen a guy shatter his bat in half and then smell the inside of the bat. I've seen, you know, a hit in the barrel of the bat that's not broken. That was a new one. Oh, wow.
Looked like a strike. Call the ball.
Yeah, let's check this out because that looked pretty good. It's called too close to take advantage. Simmons can go foot off the plate and hit a ball down the right field line. It's got to be a strike.
So it is a full count. Escobar to follow, and then Calhoun. Swing and a miss, and a good pitch, and that is strikeout number 4 for Cotton.
Well, you saw the curveball. Now about a changeup, right in the middle of the plate, straight down, and for changeup, you see the grip. Almost throws it like a screwball coming out of his hand. But with the changeup, there's not much of a target except for the catcher to put the mitt down the middle of the plate. And then throw it to there and let the movement. And of course, with Cotton, his changeup has a tendency to bite towards the right-hander. You can smell the gloves now.
Escobar takes a rip at the first pitch, fouls it back. Tough to hit when you got a sunflower seed on your head.
As the old saying goes, they were putting them on was easy. Taking the gloves off, it's hard. I mean, that's a difficult time.
It shouldn't be that hard.
No, it shouldn't. It's almost like he put pine tar on his hands before he put his gloves on, and it stuck. I can't get over him smelling a broken bat. Of course, most guys don't get a chance to smell the inside of a bat. You know,
no. Tough to do unless you break it.
Yeah, you have to break it in half.
0-2 pitch. Fastball is high. Cotton has retired 7 in a row after the Calhoun leadoff double in the 3rd. Half swing, and it's that changeup. You see a lot of funky swings on that changeup.
Former athletic Alfredo Griffin, great shortstop. Probably been with Mike Scioscia every year that Scioscia's managed. Played for the Dodgers and Scioscia, and Gold Glove winner.
Step foul again.
Every time I see Griff, I always think about coming to the All-Star game and as a guest. Infielder had to miss the game, so he's out here. Got 50 grand for coming as a guest. Bonus in his contract for a All-Star game appearance, and I think it's when he was with Toronto. That was the best.
An All-Star.
He was an All-Star. Hey, Griff's here. Okay, let him put a uniform on.
What kind of years he have? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
He's here.
We need a replacement, and he's already here. Alfredo does a lot of good things for his home country, the Dominican Republic, and for many years he'd gather equipment from the players here who get from their sponsors. They get it free, and Griff would send it back. And of course, very appreciative of those who helped him when he was a youngster growing up in the Dominican Republic, and he tries to give back to the youngsters.
That one cuts off the plate. Full count to Escobar, who has lined out and hit a fly ball to center field. He's 3 for 11 in the series.
Here's your cutter. He wouldn't go for it. Well off the plate, but Simmons hit that same pitch down the right field line for a hit.
And he missed badly that time, and it's a 1-out walk. Second walk for Cotton. But it's a dangerous one because now the Angels' best hitters are coming up. Calhoun, Trout.
Now batting, number 56,
Pujols.
Cole Calhoun.
So Calhoun steps up. Escobar, not a stolen base guy. Last year, he did not steal a single base. He's got decent speed, just not a base stealer.
And the Angels typically don't run.
No, you're right. They don't. Angels last year were 10th in the American League in total runs scored. They were second to last in home runs hit. So below average offensively. But they think with the additions that we talked about in the open of our show, they'll be better offensively, and I think they will be. But it still really revolves around Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. Bob Melvin made an interesting point today. I was talking to him about the Angels lineup, and he said, well, no matter how much better they are, you still always look where those three guys are and when they're coming up, Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols. And he also said the thing with those three guys, they are all better late in the game. They're all good clutch hitters.
They're paid handsomely to do exactly that. And that's usually guys are paid the best as guys that come through with the best hitting. Calhoun looked like he's sitting on a pitch that he didn't get. He took a fastball right down the middle. And this tells you he's not looking for a fastball. He's looking for something else. Granted, it's a good pitch down in the lower part of the zone, but left-handers like the low fastball. He didn't offer at it. Different story now with a couple of strikes. Good hitters will look for the baseball and not a particular type of a pitch.
2-2 is outside, so full count. We'll see if Escobar takes off now.
We saw earlier with it was on after then C.J. Cron took off with Maben on a 3-2. Maben ended up walking, and Cron is not fleet of foot, but it's more of trying to stay out of a double play if he does run. Knowing that you can't pitch out, you have to throw the ball to the plate.
Escobar takes his lead. He takes off, and the pitch is hit hard and into right field, and that's a base hit. Escobar round second. He will go to third, and the Angels are in business. They got first and third and one out with the big hitters coming up.
And you see how Calhoun stayed back on the changeup.
Now batting, number 27.
It's a pretty good pitch. Changeup, but he stayed back, hammered the ball in the hole between first and second, and it's almost like he was looking for that pitch when he had two strikes or one strike, took the fastball. Jed Lowry no chance to get to it, so there's your run and hit. And Escobar ends up at third, going from first to third easily with the ball in the outfield.
So here's Trout. Trout's been quiet tonight. He has struck out a couple of times. That was the numbers last year.
Well, coincidentally, Jerrell Cotton had his worst start against the Mariners. There is Frankie Montas. It was on September the 1st. So it was just 4 1/3 innings with 91 pitches.
And Trout, center field, that's going to fall for a hit. It'll drive in a run as Escobar scores. Calhoun read it well, and he goes to third. And now it's 4-0 Angels. So Trout was not going to wait around, get deep into a count.
Now batting,
Singles in a row.
Albert Pujols.
And with the runner at third base, you saw Albert Pujols disgusted with himself. And same for Mike Trout. These guys like to drive and run, so they're going to be a little bit more aggressive with runners in scoring position. Get a ground ball and get 2 outs.
Got to get a ground ball.
Yeah.
So Trout.
Trout might be running to try to stay out of a double play too. We have seen him do that. And he has speed. He's tough to throw out also.
Trout with 4 RBIs already in the series. And there he goes, and the ball's hit into right field for a base hit. Perfectly placed by Pujols. So Calhoun scores. Trout to third. And right now the Angels are doing that first to third thing, and they lead 5-0.
So Alvarez's first hit, first run batted in, and Jerrell Cotton is done for the night. See, there's a matter of who covers second.
Yep.
And it was Lowry covering, and that's where the ball was hit. Otherwise, it's a double play. The A's out of the inning.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Frankie Montas coming in.
Authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So the Angels knock out Jerrell Cotton here in the 5th inning. 4 straight base runners reach. So 8 hits, 5 runs, and 4 1/3. Cotton, and both runners are his responsibility. So Frankie Montas comes in for the first time. Hard throwing, big, strong right-hander. Pumps in a strike to C.J. Cron. Trout at third, Pujols at first. 2 runs in.
Frankie Montas, of course, last year. But the one thing about him is he was injured and comes over in a trade, and they just want to monitor. This is perfect situation for him.
Double play.
That's real perfect.
That's perfect situation. You're right. But the Angels do get a couple of runs on 3 hits. So bottom of the 5th coming up. 5-0 Angels. SportsCalifornia.com, and the NBC Sports app. Why not? Where would people be without their cell phone?
Maybe watch a game.
Well, now they can. They can stream it.
That's true. But I bet they're not streaming.
In-market stream.
That is great. That's a great feature. And if those people with their phones just realized they could be watching the game and watching the game.
Here's Trevor Plouffe, followed by Yonder Alonso, Marcus Semien. Garrett Richards has been really good so far, and he's got a 5-0 lead. He's retired 10 in a row. Last base runner for the A's was Chris Davis, and a 2-out walk in the first. Shift is on. That's Espinosa, who slides to his right on the other side of second base and makes the play.
The highlight of the game was last inning when Ryan Healy had a 10-pitch at bat.
Yep.
That was it.
It's as good as it's been.
He's got the pitch count up a little bit, but I don't know if that's enough.
Yonder Alonso.
That'll bring up Yonder Alonso. Well, on Monday, of course, it was opening night. Busy. A lot going on. Good ball game. So I didn't get a chance to go over all the salaries and the payrolls, which is always in the paper. The Monday of the baseball season when it opens, USA Today has all the payrolls. It's always pretty interesting. The Yankees and the Dodgers, the two big spending teams, dropped their payrolls quite a bit.
Yes, they did.
Which I thought was interesting.
Especially for the Yankees. The Dodgers have been kind of the new rich, where they have gotten a big TV contract. They started being the West Coast version of the Yankees.
Well, the Dodgers have the highest payroll, $187 million this year. But from last year to this year, they went from $222 million to $187 million. That's a significant drop.
Well, that's probably a contract that they ate last year that got off the books because they were trading for guys and say like Mike Morris.
Yeah.
We'll take him and release him.
Simmons cannot get to that hard hit ball by Yonder Alonso. So after 11 consecutive hitters retired, Garrett Richards will head back into the stretch as Alonso breaks up that stretch.
And that's a good fastball hitting by Alonso. And location-wise for Garrett Richards, probably one of the worst he's thrown tonight. And even with the shift, got to pass the diving Simmons.
So that'll bring up Marcus Semien. Semien struck out swinging in the second inning. But Ray, the team that give you our cold hard facts here. Cold hard facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Most home runs by a shortstop the last 2 years. Marcus Semien and Carlos Correa tied. That's a pretty good group to be in. See how he does this year, Marcus. Taps that one, just foul. But Ray, those salaries we were talking about, the payrolls, the Yankees had the biggest decrease. The Yankees went from $222 million last year to $170 this year.
Oh,
that's a $52 million crackdown.
Mark Teixeira was half of that.
Wow.
Yeah, that is amazing.
In fact, the Yankees were first last year in payroll, just a shade ahead of the Dodgers. This year, the Yankees are 7th. But there is a little theme there, Ray. Tigers, they went down about $15 million this year. The Red Sox went down about $17 million this year. So the real big spending teams, some of them anyways, really backing off.
Well, I was thinking of the Red Sox. David Ortiz was probably in that $17 million category, but but they saved the money, but they're not spending it.
Sure.
So to your point, well taken. That yeah, if we have these guys on the contract, just like Mark Teixeira signed well over 180 something like that for his long term. CC Sabathia. I mean, they're going to have more lopped off.
Yep.
And I think they're still paying Alex Rodriguez
this year. One more year.
Yeah,
I think
it's
like
25.
21.
Is it 21?
Something like that.
Okay, but still significant amount when he's now front office executive and going to the TV side.
Yeah, they'll go down again next year, I would imagine. 2-2. Marcus fouls it straight back. The player that's making the most this year salary is Clayton Kershaw, $33 million, which is about the same as the Padres payroll. But I thought it was interesting. The 4 players that are making the most this year are all pitchers. Kershaw, Greinke, Price, and Verlander. Can you believe that? That's a surprise.
Like $1 million to start, pretty much.
Oh yeah, that's about right. And that's a base hit center field. Alonso stops at second. A's, first time since the first inning, something going against Garrett Richards.
And all of a sudden this inning, Garrett Richards, we talk about the pitch that Alonso had. How about this hanging breaking ball? That's a good piece of hitting by Marcus Semien on a ball back up the middle on a hanging curveball or slider. So maybe the sharpness and the fact that the A's are making him work a little bit more, getting the pitch count up, but maybe a little fatigue setting into the pitching of Garrett Richards. And for a pitcher who's missed as much as Garrett Richards has the last year and going back even to 15, that's amazing, because pitchers will tell you, players will tell you, get your legs under them, and from a pitcher standpoint, between the arm, shoulder, the legs, all that part of your body getting in shape, it takes a while to get back to the point where you feel comfortable every time you go out.
Here's Rajay Davis. Rajay shoots one foul, second level.
The A's just need to find a way to get on the board. The 2 runs that the Angels scored in the top half of the inning, the A's need to have something similar to that as far as first and third, just get some base runners moving.
Rajay tried to bunt in the 3rd inning, popped it up to the first baseman. He's 2 for 11 to start this season. Need a couple of big hits to get themselves back in the game. Grounded to Simmons, who charges with his glove. The flip to second, on to first, not in time. Nifty play though by Andrelton Simmons.
Almost like a highlight. Watch when he catches the ball out of his glove, goes straight up, and he does not get a lot behind it. He probably held on to it in his glove a little bit longer than what he would have flipping with his hand. I don't know that they were going to double up Rajay, but it was close, even making that type of play. But the ball just kind of seemed to be suspended before it got to Espinosa at second. That's why middle infielders use a smaller glove, so they can try to get it in the pocket and not a lot of webbing, so that they can make that type of a play.
So now the A's need a 2-out hit from Matt Joyce. On the corner for a strike.
If Rajay Davis would attempt to steal down 5 runs, of course the Angels, the type of ball club, they will never sit back, and if they get an opportunity to steal a base, get in scoring position, they'll do it. Oh, they're going to call him out. Yeah. Maldonado saw something, and Maldonado called to the bench and said, guys, come out. And so that was the catcher, Maldonado, going out to talk to Richard. And the last pitch was pretty good. Yeah. You know, I don't know, but maybe the previous pitches, the one he hung to Semien, and I don't know. Uh-oh. Yeah, he was pointing to it as Mike Scioscia was there, and he's going to come out.
Huh, that's too bad.
See Maldonado Well, the way he was throwing. It just seemed this inning he
a little bit different.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was feeling it beforehand, but whatever. Great performance by him. We hope he's okay, because that's a remarkable comeback, but kind of sad to see that happening.
So we'll step aside and see if we hear anything in Garrett Richards. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
On NBC Sports California is brought to you by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, what does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details. And by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica.
The Angels have scored in 2 different innings, 5-0. Friday, April the 21st. How about that? Stephen Vogt with his puppy. That's when the A's take on the Seattle Mariners. April 21st, 10,000 fans receive an A's pet calendar presented by Aviderm Natural and Nylabone. For tickets and more information, visit athletics.com/promotions, or you can call 877-493-BALL. That was taken at the Coliseum. That was Stephen Vogt up in the plaza level with his dog. So Michael Zagaris.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen.
He's the man.
He is number 20, Mark.
I'm sure the Angels will keep their fingers crossed. Hope Garrett Richards is okay. 4 2/3, 3 hits, walk, 4 strikeouts, a couple of runners on. There is a strike to Matt Joyce, but it's not Matt Joyce, it's Mark Canha. Bob Melvin wants a right-hand hitter against the new pitcher Jose Alvarez. So Canha steps in with an 0-1 count and runners at the corners. And now it's 1-1. So first at bat of the year for Canna.
When you go from a guy throwing 96, 98 to a pitcher who kind of relies on a little bit of finesse. And Alvarez, good lefty out of the bullpen for Mike Scioscia.
In for a strike on the inside corner. So Alonso is at third. Rajay Davis is the runner at first. He's just trying to get on the board. Maybe a better chance now with Richards out of the game. He was pitching extremely well. JC Ramirez saw earlier in the series. Alvarez also pitched. Alvarez pitched on Monday night, but faced only one hitter.
And you'll see him probably 8 to 10 times a year doing things like that. Mike Scioscia, after the starter goes out, will go situational hitting, pitching. And typically, the first baseman's off the bag with a left-handed pitcher.
Pop up right near the pitcher's mound. And it's C.J. Cron, the first baseman, who grabs it. So the A's strand a pair in the bottom of the fifth. Sixth inning coming up. 5-0 Angels.
Live with the MLB.com Advantage mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long with game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com Advantage today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. Yes, it is.
So Frankie Montas back to work. He got a double play to end the fifth inning, a line drive variety. Canna stays in the game in right field. And Cameron Maben is the hitter. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And he hits this one in the air, playable as Canna gets some early work. And he makes the catch, 1 away.
With Mark Canna pinch hitting and going in for Matt Joyce, that leaves the A's down to 2 on the bench. Adam Rosales, Mr. Versatility.
Now
So
#2,
Josh Phegley
Andrelton
expected to play tomorrow. Right now, Bob Melvin's trying to find a way to get on the board. And Kipe, so many times you see a game like last night where you think you have a win, end up losing, and that can turn a series around. And after losing last night with the 3 in the 9th inning, tonight the Angels have a 5-0 lead.
A little momentum. A's Using the disabled list today. John Axford, a little bit of a shoulder problem, was placed on the 10-day disabled list, and Jesse Hahn brought up. Remember, this year the 15-day disabled list is no longer. It is now the 10-day disabled list. So that's one of the changes in Major League Baseball. So unfortunately, John Axford to the disabled list. First time in his career.
Isn't that amazing?
He's been on the disabled list. So that's the group on the disabled list. Sonny Gray slowly working his way back.
But Daniel Mengden, of course.
That one is drilled toward left center field. Davis cuts it off on one hop. Big turn by Simmons. He'll stop there.
Daniel Mengden at Fan Fest, and goes home's working out. Comes to spring training on the disabled list.
That's not the way it's supposed to work.
This is what happens when you fall behind an account. Montas throws hard. Fell behind 3-0, got a strike, and then a booming single. And Chris Davis had to get to it quickly, cut it off.
So that is hit number 9 for the Angels. The A's have 3. And here's Danny Espinosa. 2-run single in the second. Popped out in the fourth. Espinosa, our first look at him after his entire career was with the Washington Nationals up until this year. Angels acquired him. It was in December. They sent a couple of young right-handed pitchers to the Nationals, and Espinosa is going to be aboard, hit by pitch. And that's not going to feel great from a hard thrower like Ricky Montes. Right on the elbow.
Now batting.
See, he's got a pad there, but the pad's really kind of on his tricep area. So 2 on and 1 out. Angels are at it again. Martin Maldonado grounds it toward third. Healy scoops out at second. On to first. Double play. So the A's now 6 double plays turned in this series. They get one there. 5-0 Angels. Bottom of the 6th. Let's go downstairs and check in with Angela.
Thanks, guys. Well, the A's have just announced a new partnership, a multi-year one, with licensed sports merchandise leader Fanatics, which means that all of the team stores will not only have new lighting, flooring, and graphics, but the fans will also have the largest assortment of A's merchandise to choose from. I had a chance to check out some of the sweet new swag during media day, and there are some really sweet threads, including some new Ricky Henderson gear, so make sure to go and check that out.
So more improvements at the Coliseum. That's nice stuff. So lots of new stuff to check out when you get to the Coliseum.
About a walk-off. Come from behind walk-off. Haven't seen one of those yet.
So it will be Lowry, Healy, and Davis here in the bottom of the 6th. A's would like to get close enough to make that 9th inning interesting. They have some time yet. He's had a scoring opportunity in the 1st, and they had a scoring opportunity in the 5th. In between that, really nothing. The bunting is still up. Lowry has reached on a fielder's choice and grounded to short. He's 0 for 2 after 5 hits in the first 2 games of this series.
Well, the pitcher's dominating the way Garrett Richards was, and again, hope he's okay for the future, but getting him out tonight changes everything from the hitter standpoint, and probably the biggest runs the Angels scored were the 2 top of the 5th inning. Because from a 3-0 to a 5-0 is huge, because the A's, especially now with Richards out, trying to do something against the bullpen of the Angels.
Well, the sun's not really out, but well, I'm not really a sunglasses at night kind of guy.
No, especially if you're walking and you can't see where you're walking.
They did write a song about that. The great Corey Hart. But
can you hum a few tunes for us?
Never. No, I could, but then if you're a Hall of Famer, you can wear sunglasses at night.
Well, Ricky wore them on Monday night. Of course he did not take them off during the ceremonies, naming the field Ricky Henderson Field.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man of steel.
Two and 2 to Lowry. Another foul ball. Lowry need to do this. Foul some pitches off.
It'd been nice if Dwayne Murphy had been here, since he was a huge part of Ricky Henderson's stealing, batting second and left-handed hitter, taking a lot of pitches, and Ricky'd say, "You're going to get fastballs, man. Swing. You don't have to wait."
Nice for Ricky to know that didn't have to worry about it, right? It wasn't going to be an issue, the guy who was hitting behind him.
Ted Sizemore with Lou Brock. Second place hitter, always important. Retired number 24. Ricky walked in from center field, and the announcement of his retired number, he did it last night, or Monday night. Announcement of the field. It's another 10-pitch at bat for an A's player, Ryan Healy, and now Jim Lowry. There he is. There he goes. Man, just think of his chest. Watch this. Wait. Bam on his chest. Here you go. The old stadium, the old Coliseum.
Free call. Lowry's not going to like it. Lance Barksdale rings up Lowry. They're going to have a little chat.
Well, you be the judge. The top end of the strike zone, and so she's going to make a pitching change after that great at bat by Jed Lowry. The result's not what he wanted.
So indeed, J.C. Ramirez is coming in when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Rickey Henderson Field. How cool would it be to be walking on a field named after you?
Your attention, please.
I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, now pitching for Los Angeles, number 66, J.C. Ramirez.
The 6th inning.
Who's that?
Never give up. As you go.
He's got a low voice.
Yeah.
Here, talk to Will the Thrill.
Yeah. Oh,
He's not thrilling like Will the Thrill.
Yeah, he sounds like Lou Rawls.
That's right. It's a great call.
0-1 to Ryan Healy as J.C. Ramirez comes in. J.C. Ramirez pitched on Monday night, and he hung a breaking ball to Chris Davis. I think you know how that ended up.
Thus an ERA of 9.
9 on the button. Hung a breaking ball to Healy, who pops a foul back. A little over 13,000 tonight. Cooling off. Haley has struck out and grounded to third. His third at bat. Big heads are lined up out left field. Stretching out, getting ready for their sprint from left field to right field. Their exercise in. Eck, Raleigh, and Rickey. You know, we could call them the big heads. We could also call them the flat heads, because if you look at the back of their heads, they're well, they're very flat. Skied in the air, shallow center field. Simmons getting back there, and Andrelton Simmons seems to be everywhere. 2 outs, and here is Chris Davis, and this is the hanger on Monday night. So 1 of 2 that Davis hit. Right now, the A's just take a base runner. tapped past Stephen Vogt in the on-deck circle. For 3 with a home run against J.C. Ramirez. So keep an eye on this matchup. Hit hard. Simmons dives. He's got it, but it pops out of his glove. And Chris Davis will have a base hit.
And Simmons knew one thing. If I catch the ball, I can pop up. We saw it quickly popped up earlier. And this time he came up. He couldn't keep the ball in his glove.
The catcher, number 21.
Hit of the glove. And he kicked it with his knee as he came up. But great effort. Check the left side as he came up with the ball in the glove and then out of his glove. Tried to close it. Sometimes you need a bigger glove. He doesn't have one there.
Well, Davis will take the hit, so he's been on base a couple times. And here's Stephen Vogt. First pitch strike to Vogt, who has grounded to short and flied to right. So Vogt is 2 for 10 so far this year. He does have a home run. Off speed pitch drops in there nicely for a strike. So just like that, it's 0-2.
Well, this is what we're seeing, you're seeing, and Lance Barksdale saw to the point that he called it a strike.
Line drive right center field. That's a hit. Here comes Chris Davis. Calhoun cuts it off. He gets it in quickly. Chip Hale will stop Davis at third. Vogt has a sliding double.
Hit a ball like that for Stephen Vogt. Just keep running. Get in the scoring position yourself. Got a hanging breaking ball. Similar to the one that he took for strike 2. They tried to come back with the same one. And Stephen Vogt was on it. And into the gap in right center. Calhoun just trying to cut it off. Keeps Chris Davis from scoring. He does that. But great job of base running by Stephen Vogt to get into second base.
So now second and third. 2 outs for Trevor Plouffe, the designated hitter. So the A's had a shot in the 5th, could not score. Well, they got a shot here in the 6th.
Designated hitter, number 3, Trevor.
Well, they need to come up with a big hit, especially with a couple of outs, and that's kind of the opportunities they've had.
Well, at some point, they're going to break through. Plouffe steps in. He has struck out and he has grounded to second. And that one drops down and away. Good take by Plouffe. 1-0. Yonder Alonso would be next. Inside corner strike. That one moving in on Plouffe. Lance Barksdale liked it. Plouffe did not. Was it a strike?
It's the one that you could look outside and, you know, they talk framing. That should have been called a strike, even though Maldonado caught it the right way to keep it in the strike zone. Should have been called a strike anyway.
Fastball on the outside corner strike, 96 miles an hour. So inside strike, outside strike. So in this case, pretty good pitching by Ramirez because he is painting the corners. Look at that.
Ball came back. Very difficult for a right-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher with a 2-seam fastball, and that's what Plouffe got. He's going to lay off. So there's a case where one ball comes from the outside inside to the corner. The other one goes to the outside off the plate.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a high hard one at 97 miles an hour. A's strand a pair. So we are moving to the 7th inning here at the Coliseum with the Angels leading 5-0. Stream A's baseball using the NBC Sports app. Download it now on your mobile, tablet, and TV connected devices so you'll be able to enjoy all season long on the NBC Sports app. So we are on to the 7th with the Angels leading 5-0 over the A's. Frankie Montas inning in 2/3 so far, and good challenge here as the young right-hander will face the top of the order. Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout. Fastball in for a strike at 95. 0 for 2, a walk and a run scored tonight for Escobar. Montes puts his glove up, finds the baseball, 1 out.
He found it or it found him?
One of the two.
One, it doesn't matter. You work on it, you follow through, and watch the pitcher. If he follows through, takes it off to the side. You like those pitchers that just stop. He kind of falls off to the left side, but if you're able to be a pitcher to finish, kind of a little of a crow hop where you're in position to field, you could take a lot of hits away from hitters who try to go up the middle.
So 1 away. Here's Calhoun. Calhoun has got himself a base hit. He is 3 for 4. So that's 10 hits for the Angels. Calhoun now 5 hits on the season.
Good play by Montas to handle this, and now right back with another fastball, but Calhoun said, I can handle it. And that's with Jed Lowry positioned way in the outfield.
So that'll bring up Trout.
You see a right bicep for Garrett Richards. We'll take it out for precautionary reasons, which is usually the term they use, and I don't blame them, especially the way he was pitching. Because he kind of grabbed his upper arm, bicep, tricep, and so if it's not the elbow, that's got to be a positive for the Angels.
Scary. Still scary. Good curveball from Montes. Trout could not pull the trigger, and now he's behind in the count 0-2. With the fastball that stays outside. Trout 2 strikeouts and an RBI single, so he is 1 for 3. the season, he is 4 for 11 with 4 RBIs. So off to a good start. This is his 6th full season, starting his 6th full season in the big leagues. In his first 5 seasons, he has won the MVP award twice, and he has finished second 3 times. That's pretty good, huh?
So you're saying he's worth every penny they're paying him?
I mean, he could. So listen, if you're finishing second, that means you can probably make the argument that you could have finished first.
Exactly.
He's retired there as Alonso hangs with a tough ground ball. But I mean, seriously, look at that.
Now batting, number 5, Albert.
That is something.
Pujols.
Unbelievable is right.
And he is 25 years old. 25.
And still a nice young man. The face of the game, you could say, with Derek Jeter retiring. Mike Trout stepped in, and I'd say, in talking to Tim Meade, a good friend of the Angels, he said he does everything right.
Yep.
And that's what you want to hear, and especially about a good young player.
Yeah, that is the truth. You never hear anything negative about Mike Trout.
He's got a little beard on Albert Pujols. I said, Albert, he says, I've always had that. I'm looking at the media guy. He doesn't have that. He's always had the goatee, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so he's got this kind of a beard. So maybe he's always had it since spring training.
Right on the corner from Valdes. 1-1 the count. Pujols is 1 for 3. He has an RBI single.
Albert Pujols, a player that, while he signed a huge contract with the Angels after 11 seasons with the Cardinals, and the injuries that he has had, especially to his feet, he's always worked hard to come back, because people just keep trying to tell him that you're not going to be able to come back in time. And he keeps proving them wrong.
Yeah, he had foot surgery in December. Not his first surgery either. And there was some concern that maybe he wouldn't quite be ready to start the season, but he is. I don't know that he's going to play a whole lot of first base anymore.
No, I don't think so. And they expected, when the 10-year contract, the back end would be most days a DH, which in the American League he'd do that. But he played 11 for the Cardinals and 10. That's 21. And he's approaching 600 home runs.
Well, that's his 5 years so far in Anaheim.
If there's one disappointment, is the fact that one postseason.
Yep. And it was a quick exit.
Yep.
That was 2014.
Yeah, the year that the A's thought they were going to be going to Anaheim from Kansas City.
Marcus Semien grabs it, a hit and a runner left, and we have reached the 7th inning stretch. It's 5-0 the Angels lead. You join us tomorrow. The A's will wrap up this 4-game series against the Angels. Trakes and Skaggs is your pitching matchup. Coverage begins at 11:30 with A's pregame live. And now stream the A's on the go with NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app. So, day baseball from the Coliseum to wrap up this series. The A's will then head to Arlington to start their weekend series. And for the Angels, they're going to head home for their home opener on Friday against the Mariners. There's Yonder Alonso. First pitch is a strike from J.C. Ramirez. Alonso, Simeon, Davis, bottom 3 in the order. So 1-1 the count.
Well, the Mariners had the lead. So the Astros tie it. Now they lost 5-3. So they're still winless, aren't they? The Mariners. They lost 3 straight to Houston. And Texas lost 3 straight to Cleveland.
Yes, they did. Let one get away.
Yeah, they did.
Rangers had a 6-4 lead going to the top of the 9th at home against the Indians. And Lindor hit a grand slam for the Indians off Dyson. It was part of a 5-run 9th inning when it was all said and done. Indians beat the Rangers 9-6. So, well, the Indians off to a good start and some comeback wins.
How would you like to be in Chicago and have 2 rainouts the first 3 days?
Yeah, they got rained out.
Okay, and then Kulo gets loose. 2 lefties in the A's bullpen. There's the rain for the Tigers and the White Sox. Minnesota hammered Kansas City. You got all the scores. BI's been working on those all night.
Yes, he has. Starts working on them in the morning. He starts writing numbers down before the game starts. So yeah, so George Springer hit a home run. A walk-off 2-run homer in the bottom of the 13th. That's how the Astros beat the Mariners 5-3. Rays beat the Yankees 4-1. Cobb over Pineda. Red Sox interleague beat the Pirates 3-0 at Fenway. A walk-off by Sandy Leon, the catcher, 3-run homer in the bottom of the 12th inning. It was cold in Boston.
Oh, really?
Oh boy, they had the beanies on, and players had the ski masks on. The Red Sox won it tonight.
I wonder if good friend Dennis Eckersley was doing the game for Nessa, and when the walk-off occurred, he said, now that's not really a walk-off. That's a game-winning hit. The guy walking off the mound is the walk-off guy.
Exactly.
No, Eck is here. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah, he's not doing the game tonight.
That's a million, too. Well, when he came in doing network, saw his first big hit, he goes, wow.
It's not fair.
No, they were getting all in because Eck is stylish. Stylish. That big hit is mullion.
And someday Ray will all give us the definition of a mulligan.
Enough said. Just look at that. Oh.
He's having a good time.
That's just not Eck, isn't it?
No, that is not Eck.
Hop, skipping, and jumping through the stands,
Eck
taking
could be
pictures.
running around. The A's did hire him, though.
He's here
maybe
tonight, right?
Maybe that is it. Quick inning for J.C. Ramirez as he set down the A's in order. We're going to the 8th. Still 5-0 Angels.
Take on the Seattle Mariners. 10,000 fans will receive a Warriors A's t-shirt. Town Business, brought to you by Cash Creek Casino Resort. For tickets and more information, visit athletics.com/promotions, or you can call 877-493-BALL. Go Warriors. Dubs, right?
Yeah, they won tonight.
They win every night.
Well, that's true. They do win every night. Yes, they do.
About 12 in a row now. Have they lost since they got on that streak?
They clinched the #1 seed in the Western Conference, so that's good news. Daniel Colomb comes in. So his first appearance this year. Facing Crone, Maben, and Simmons. Base hit. C.J. Crone is 2 for 4, so the Angels just keep swinging the bats. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
Now batting, number 9, Cameron.
Numbers last year for Daniel Colomb.
There was some question during spring training if the A's may go with one lefty, Daniel Colomb, but as we talked earlier in the series, he was one of the pitchers that decided they wanted him to stretch it out a little bit, to pitch more than just a couple of innings. And got up to 3, which is always good for a reliever to have that ability to pitch more than 1 inning. And really, Jerrell Cotton tonight, 4 1/3. That kind of created Frankie Montas pitching 2 2/3. Now Daniel Colomb. So Bob Melvin getting a chance to get different guys in the lineup, and if we expect tomorrow to see a couple of more, Adam Rosales and Josh Phegley.
Well, it's really twofold when your starting pitcher does not pitch deep into the game. And Cotton did get to the 5th, but still you have to go to your bullpen earlier, because not only are you thinking about this game, but you have to think about tomorrow as well. Now it helps to have an extra arm in the bullpen, which the A's have. But there's just nothing good that comes out of your pitcher getting knocked out early. Makes it difficult on the manager. It'll be Triggs tomorrow. Alcantara on Friday in Arlington. Base hit right up the middle. Cameron Maben has his first hit tonight. 12 hits now for the Angels in this game.
A couple of pitches left up by Colomb, and that's a formula for danger, because that type of a location, hitters will take it back up the middle, as Maben did.
So now Andrelton Simmons steps up. Angels looking to add on some insurance runs. They lead 5-0. They scored 3 in the 2nd and 2 in the 5th. Had a fair amount of base runners tonight. Simmons takes a strike. When the Angels acquired Andrelton Simmons, they also acquired a long-term contract. Simmons got a 7-year, $58 million contract when he was with the Atlanta Braves. Well, this is the 4th year of that 7-year contract. So, hey, if the guy's a good player, it's a great thing to have.
That's right. And you can have a Gold Glove shortstop, probably in today's world, is worth every penny to get.
No question.
Because your defense is going to save you a lot, and they really have improved up the middle. Trout, perennial, just a great player all the way around. Center field, covering a lot of ground. Do it offensively as well.
Colomb grabs it, spins and looks at second, and then looked at first. Just could not get a clear shot at either bag, but he makes a nice play.
Well, you have to wonder if that ball was going to be slicing right to Lauer at second base. No, it's got to go more up the middle. So good play by Daniel Coulomb to take another base hit away, but a pitch that was elevated, and as he followed through, just put the glove up.
Number 3.
And then you start looking around. Who's off? Look to second, look to first. And that's back across his body. No place to go. So you could say pretty good base running by the two guys on.
So up steps Danny Espinosa. Two-run single in the second. Foul out in the fourth. Hit by a pitch in the sixth.
You were talking about the salaries, that the 4 pitchers. You mentioned Kershaw.
Kershaw, Greinke,
but
Price, and Verlander.
Wasn't Kershaw? Didn't he? He said he offers him like a 10-year deal. He said, no, just give me 5 because that's too many years or whatever.
Yeah, I think his deal was 7.
Oh, was it 7?
7 for 210, something like that.
But that's what he accepted?
That's what he decided to take.
Because I think he was offered more.
Probably.
Yet I think he said, no, that's too many, and, you know, pretty much gave it back. I mean, he could have signed 10 years, 11, whatever, and gotten hurt. It's all guaranteed. But but he and Bumgarner be free agents about the same time?
That's true. Pick which guy you want.
Well, listen to Greg Papa the other day. And he threw out the numbers of like 35 million for Bumgarner as a pitcher. Another 10 to 15 as a hitter.
Yeah, well, yeah, throw that in there.
Yeah, you put the whole package and you're talking about 40, 50. Wow. But he can hit.
He can hit.
I mean,
I just don't think you even. I mean, even the Greinke contract. I mean, he's $31 million this year.
Now pitching Zach Greinke, and there's $1 million.
It's just it's a lot of money for anybody, but
what's your
more so as a pitcher.
Yeah. And you're paying for a guy that you hope can pitch 200 innings. I mean, it's not 300 and 350 making 40 starts. You're looking at 32, 35 starts.
And even Kershaw. I mean, Kershaw's the best, and he's going to be one of the best of all time. But he was on the disabled list last year. Yeah. And he missed a fair amount of time.
Look at Price.
Price not pitching.
He could be done. Who knows? I mean,
Verlander had some down years. Now he's back to pitching great again. Risky business.
And they took Sanchez, Anibal Sanchez, put him in the bullpen, making 15, 18 million.
So the business side of it can be interesting.
Well, the last pitch, getting up in the zone with a breaking ball. This time, swing and a miss by Espinosa. Simmons just lined out to Coulomb with a nice play.
Vogt coming back, but it'll be into the seats. Maldonado will be next. This Coulomb can get a hard hit ground ball right at somebody. Crone is at second, Maben at first. Off the plate, but foul. Espinosa, now we mentioned Simmons' contract situation. Much different deal for Espinosa. The Angels acquired him in the offseason knowing that he will be a free agent after this year. Same thing with Maben. So, got a couple guys that you would think are probably motivated to get a contract after this year. So motivated to put together a good season.
Yeah, that's a great point. You get guys at the beginning of a contract and say you don't have constant certainty, but then, like you said, with a couple of guys the final year, that you know they're going to try to have their best year.
Yep.
Good strikeout by Coulomb after giving up hits this first 2 batters. Then
Now
end
batting,
of the line drive by
number
Simmons
12,
and a good breaking ball to get a strikeout.
Maldonado.
How would you like to be in the Dodgers organization as Daniel Coulomb was, and he gets to work with Sandy Koufax and Clayton Kershaw.
Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Right? First pitch is low to Martin Maldonado.
I learned something today. Josh Higginbush, who's in the ticket office, said he grew up a fan of the A's in the late 80s, and Dave Stewart, he said he had a chance to talk to him and ask about the forkball. See, I always thought when he came here that Dave Duncan kind of taught him the forkball. Stu said Sandy Koufax did. He said you need a new pitch. And then Dave Duncan refined it.
Sure.
Stu, in 4 consecutive years, winning 220 more games, but being with the Dodgers and just kind of a journeyman.
Yeah.
And you talk to the great lefty Koufax. He can help you whether you're righty or lefty. And what a gentleman. Cross up.
Looked like it.
Yeah, Stephen Vogt's going down. Watch this. Ah. Either that or the breaking ball didn't break.
It didn't get to where he thought it was.
Whatever it was, he knocked it down, which tried to do that as a catcher.
Maldonado is 1 for 3, doubled back in the 2nd inning. In the air, but right at Rajai Davis, who waits. And that'll do it. So a couple of hits, both runners stranded. Bottom of the 8th coming up. A's need to get something going. Trailing 5-0. Toyota dealers 5-12-0 for the Angels, 0-5-0 for the Athletics as we head to the bottom of the 8th. He's running out of time. Garrett Richards left the game in the 5th inning, bicep issue. Hope that's nothing serious. Jerrell Cotton gave up 5 earned runs and 8 hits in 4 1/3 innings in his first start here in 2017. The youngster's going to get a complete game tonight. There's a couple Pepsis in that body.
That's called too legit to quit.
Yeah, he's good. He is good. So Mark Canada lead it off. J.C. Ramirez back out there. Hit hard. Simmons smoothly backhands it. And he throws out Canna for the first out. And Garrett Richards was rolling along. When he's on, he's as good as anybody almost.
Well, he got a 97-98 hitter and then throwing a hard breaking ball like that. Really don't have much of a chance. Grip with a curve ball right over the top. He was good. I hope he's real good. He's especially coming back the way he did to avoid Tommy John surgery.
So he left 1 out away from possibly qualifying for a win.
I'd give it to him if they win anyway. You know, they say the scorekeeper's
discretion.
Yeah, why not? Why not consider? I mean, it's amazing. They can have somebody pitch a third of an inning or 2/3 and say, yeah, he's the winner. But to start, if he goes 4 1/3 or 4 2/3, why wouldn't he be considered?
He's shaking that right arm just a little bit. And with him, you might as well be careful.
Well, that's a catcher's job, too. You notice something, you bring the people out, because normally guys are going to try to stay in the game. May even be worse, and not knows that the importance of Richard, if he stays healthy, to the success of the club. So he immediately called the manager, pitching coach, trainer, figure it out.
Little pop-up foul. Foul ball alley.
He's on the ground crew. He's not there.
He's not. He's got work to do.
He's down on the field. He ran by me. He said, hey. I went, oh, that's right. You're on the crew, the ground crew. Give Clay Wood a lot of credit for hiring him.
Down and in, and Lowry lays off. So Ramirez getting a workout. 32 pitches for the right-hander. A's have not really figured him out just yet. Maben comes in and over toward the line for the second out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's the first 2 games in this series scored a total of 10 runs on 18 hits and hit 5 home runs. But tonight, no runs and 5 hits. They struck out 7 times.
25, Ryan Healy.
Ryan Ely looking for his first hit. He's had a couple of hits in the 5th, could not score, and the A's had a couple of hits in the 6th and did not score.
Seeing Ryan Ely with the number 25 on his back, when he turns, looks like McGuire. Size that Ryan Healy is, and what we saw with McGuire for many years. 11 seasons wearing the number 25. Might be a long season for him too as a bench coach for the Padres.
Ooh, boy. Padres in a full rebuild. Probably they rebuilding as much as any team in all of baseball.
White Sox are trying unloading Sale and Eaton, and Quintana probably is going to be on the move sometime soon.
I mentioned those payrolls earlier, Ray. And the Padres, $34 million payroll.
Oh, wow.
Next closest is the Brewers at $61 million.
Well, that's hard to believe.
That is.
And the city of San Diego is losing Chargers. They've already lost the Clippers.
No.
I think the Padres the only team remaining of the professional
They're the only
sports.
team in town. A's have a payroll of $70 million, and they're 27th out of 30 teams. Coming in is Trout. Waiting. And Ramirez. 2 2/3 innings of very good work for the right-hander J.C. Ramirez. WCSN will now be known as NBC Sports California, and it's powered by Xfinity. That's what we are, NBC Sports California. It's not going to change. Daniel Colon facing Yunel Escobar. It's a big chopper to Simeon. One away. So it's been Cotton for 4 1/3. Mickey Montez for 2 2/3. And now Daniel Colon into his second inning of work.
Now batting, number 56, Cole Calhoun.
And here's Cole Calhoun.
Well, we have talked about how managers try to get as many players in the game as early as possible in a season. Daniel Colon hits in his first 2 hitters that he faced, and now he's retired 4 straight, so he's settled down. Montas getting his first bit of work, so. And then tomorrow, so remember last year the A's started the season 1-3. They lost the first 3 to the White Sox, close games. Jimmy Rollins, who was let go by the White Sox, then did not make the Giants team, helped win a ball game. Cost him their manager.
That's right. Is it Rick Renteria? Right. Is the new White Sox manager?
Probably shouldn't have been let go by the Cubs, but Cubs had a chance to get Joe Madden. They did, and Renteria, who was under contract, was let go. But Robin Ventura, never managed before, took over and just, well, last year it looked like that might be their year, and then they just imploded.
That's right. Remember how great April the White Sox had last year?
Yeah, they were really running away with it.
Yeah, they were. Everybody was thinking, wow, it's a good-looking team, and you're right. They did fall apart.
I remember talking to Robin Ventura in that series. He said a year ago in 2015, they did not win those games early the way they did against the A's. And a lot of excitement.
That's why you really can't judge a team until you're only a couple of months in.
Yeah.
Even then, you don't know.
Well, the key, and unless you're the team that can run away with the division, you never want to get too far behind.
No.
And kind of stay in the pack and then try to get hot and run off some consecutive wins.
Two pitch. Rolled foul.
I think, and you've talked to the skipper a lot, but you know, you talk to him every day, and it's the day. He's not thinking about losing the game before. I mean, he could have been very upset, distraught after seeing the Angels come back and winning last night, but he was focused 100% on tonight's game, who was pitching, who was playing. And that's what you have to do in whatever capacity you are with a team, especially on the field. Think about the present and not so much about what happened in the past, unless you can learn from it.
Rolled foul.
Still got it.
So 2-2 the count to Calhoun.
Oh,
I don't know where that missed.
Oh. Wow. Had to be outside, but let's take a look at PitchCast, see what he says. That's a strike, because the yellow line went right through the white line. That means it's a strike.
So the payoff pitch, here it is. Off the end of the bat, Davis hustling in. Rajay will get there. So that is out number 2 here in the top of the 9th inning. And here's Mike Trout for at-bat number 5.
Number 27, Mike Trout.
Trout is 1 for 4. Good breaking ball. Daniel Colomb does have a good one. Esmeril Petit looks like he will pitch the 9th inning. Well, if nothing else, Ray, Montez and Colomb got stretched out tonight and really saved the rest of the bullpen.
And that's part of the plan as a manager and pitching coach, to make sure that certain guys like Casilla was not available last night. Skipper had explained that he had some leg issues and doing a lot of PFPs and different things and just was not available. Manager will know. Pitching coach knows with the pitchers. Bob Melvin did not live in the area. He may sleep at the Coliseum. Quick turnaround with as early as he will be here tomorrow.
12:35 first pitch. We'll be on the air at 11:30 with A's pregame live. Remember, our pregame shows and postgame shows are 1 hour long now. Two to Mike Trout. Shoots that curveball past the diving Alonso down the right field line. Trout digging for second. The throw is late, and Trout has a double.
Cap, it's amazing watching Mike Trout. And we talk about a 5-tool player. He hit the ball and he was smelling too as soon as he hit it. But watching him run,
Now batting.
I don't know that I want to be a defensive back trying to tackle. But watch this. Look how low he is to the ground. Watch the turn at first base.
Well, that may, the speed is great.
Yeah.
The turn at first may have been the most impressive thing. And a lot of guys are not good at making the turn.
Yeah, they end up
bases.
in right field.
Exactly.
They make such a big turn. But, that's low to the ground, and he knows there are 2 outs, getting a scoring position. But look at that. And that's the right way. You hit with the left foot and then push off, and he's pushing hard for 2. And they're going to pitch to Mike Trout. Of course, Crone behind. Or they're going to pitch to Pujols with Trout at second. And C.J. Crone behind Pujols is a threat also.
Simeon has it. That should do it, and it will. So the double by Trout. He is stranded. Last chance for the A's as we are headed to the bottom of the 9th.
It's been a good night for this part of the batting order. How about this little flip down the right field line by Simmons on a pitch about a foot outside. Never saw Crone, and Espinosa with a broken bat with the infield playing in. So good read by Simmons at second. He ends up scoring, and Jerrell Cotton couldn't believe it. Makes a couple good pitches, and the results 3 runs. But that was the difference in the game at the beginning. 3-run inning, and that was in the second After Jerrell Cotton had retired the first 4 batters he faced, starting the first inning. Got Pujols out to start the second, then single walk, 2-run double. Or 1-run double and a 2-run single. And that was it. So the A's with 1 more chance.
And they'll have to do it against Yusmeiro Petit when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So bottom of the 9th. Last year with the Nationals, Petit pitched in 36 games, made 1 start. After 3 years in San Francisco, some time in Arizona and Florida, so he has bounced around some.
It's 12 for the Giants, didn't he?
Yep. Swing and a miss.
There were some good games that he came in and didn't give up anything.
No. Helped them win a playoff game in Washington.
Yeah.
That long 18
inning, yeah.
Chris Davis, a walk, a ground out, and a single. So he's 1 for 2.
So you're going to bring up Matt Williams taking, was it, I think out Strasburg?
That was the game. That was the game. Yeah.
He took him out the last inning.
No, he took out Zimmerman.
Zimmerman. Yeah, he was lights out, and
yeah, I think he walked somebody, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah, Zimmerman. You're right. I think that's the year Strasburg. They held him back.
2-2 the count to Davis. Vogt will follow, and then Plouffe. Remember Yusmeiro Petit, when pitching in San Francisco, had a perfect game.
That's right.
With 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, and Eric Chavez, then playing for the Diamondbacks, got a base hit to break up the perfect game. He was 1 out away from a perfect game. Two and 2 the count. A's with just 5 hits tonight. They have been quiet. Petit also has a major league record. Consecutive batters retired in a single season. In 2014, he retired 46 consecutive hitters across 8 appearances.
Almost 2 perfect games.
A major league record. Holy smokes. Calhoun drifts in and over, and he's got it. So Chris Davis 1 for 3. Well, stay tuned after the game for A's Post-Game Live. It's presented by State Farm. The guys are here at the ballpark, standing by. They're putting their makeup on, touching up a little bit, straightening out their ties and jackets. See, there they are. You know what? I know it's a bad game, Brody, but seriously, come on. Brody and Shooty said, you know what? It's 5-0. The A's aren't doing anything. I am not watching.
I'm going to turn my back.
Turning my back in this game.
Did you know Brody's going to be a father?
Is he really?
Yeah,
Congratulations.
it's September.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
He was telling me today, and very excited.
Yeah. That was Brody like 25 years ago. That's him right there. 1993. That's Brody Brazil right there. Well, Brody's going to have to wear the referee shirt with Jose Canseco and Shooty Babbitt. Some opinionated young men right there. Bibb, Dave Stewart, Dallas Braden. He's going to have fun. Oh, nice play by the first baseman, C.J. Cron. That is a tough hop, and he hung with the low throw from Simmons, 2 away.
Well, sometimes things just go exactly like you hope. And off the end of the bat, cue shot. It's going across, and an excellent scoop by C.J. Cron. Fortunately for him, actually the throw was bounced far enough out in front of him that it wasn't necessarily a short hop. I thought when Stephen Vogt was up here talking referee, I thought maybe he's going to be a basketball ref.
It got me to thinking.
Yeah.
Well, chance for the A's. It's Trevor Plouffe who takes outside. Plouffe has struck out twice and he has grounded out. Last A's hit was Vogt's double in the 6th inning. Foul straight back. Trakes and Skaggs tomorrow is your pitching matchup.
You know what Delaire said, don't you?
What?
Double G's.
That's right.
That was very observant of him. He looked at Skaggs and she said all G's. Oh, G.
So Plouffe has a base hit. Drops it into left center field. Hit number 6 for the A's.
There's been some amazing comebacks tonight already in baseball. The American League we've seen off the end of the bat, and Trevor Plouffe with a hit tonight. And the great thing about baseball, you just never know. It's not about time. Nope. It's about outs. And the Indians down, and the slam by Lindor. Springer with a
3-run homer to win it in Houston.
They've got a pretty good lineup.
Yes, they do.
They've added some pieces that pretty impressive. Josh Reddick is having probably starting the season as well as the team has anyway.
Plouffe's going to go to second base. Yeah, well, you had Beltran, McCann, and Reddick. And you're going to get Bregman a whole year, which that's a big deal. And you're going to get Gurriel a whole year. Those guys weren't really there that much last year. A couple months maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Good swing by Alonso, fouls it straight back. It's going to be a fun division, the AL West, no question about it, with the Rangers. Every team has positives and every team has some questions. The Rangers have enough pitching after Darvish and Cole Hamels. Toward left center, Trout's going to get there. This should do it, and it will. So the Angels get terrific pitching tonight, and they win Game 3 of this series by a final score of 5-0. Time of game 3 hours and 15 minutes. The attendance 13,405. Final score tonight: the Angels 5 and the Athletics 0. Now, you've been watching Oakland A's baseball on NBC Sports California. Don't go away. A's post-game live is set to go. They're right next door. Take it away, guys.